Did that come later?
Kaaba? No, the Kaaba is a product of the flesh of Adam. That was a sign when the scientists finished breathing, right? When they made it. That's all it has to do with it. The Kaaba, when you look at the root of the Kaaba, you're talking about where they set up idol worship. Let me tell you about El-Islam. El-Islam was the first school. After El-Islam, then there's Christianity. After Christianity, then there's the truth, Millah Ibrahim. I had to teach y'all Islam first and give you a thorough understanding of Islam. What is Islam? Islam is an ancient Babylonian religion. What do they call their religion in Islam? Deen. For 25 years, I tell them the Quran says Millah. For 25 years, they say Deen. Who's Deen? Deen is Dinah. Who's Dinah? An ancient goddess of the crescent. You follow that? What does it represent? Fertility. What is fertility? The symbols of a mosque. A minaret, which is supposed to be a penis, and a dome, which is a breast. It goes back to the ancient Babylonian worship that they kindled under the name Allat. Who is Allat? Allat was one of the ancient Babylonian gods from Nebuchadnezzar and them. It actually goes back to Nimrod and them. Islam was the first school of taking the spell of Leviathan off our people, who had never intended for our people to remain Mohammedans or Mu'min, meaning people who worship Amun-Ra. Because there's Amun and Atan. Amun is plural, which is Elohim, and Atan is single, which is Elo or Yahweh. We had to get back to the fact that we are the Elohims to get back to the fact that we are the Elo. So a lot of traditions and customs, and I made sure that they knew every custom. We was the only community that wore veils, jalabias. We did everything it was, because if you're going to teach your people well, you got to submerge them in that knowledge. You follow that? Yeah. But that was not what they call right knowledge. That was called belief. Because while we were all submerged in Islam, it was all based on belief, not facts. Now we had to go back, and after we finished that, I taught them all about Christianity.
When you say belief, you mean faith also.
When I say belief, I mean to lie to Eve's children. Lie, Eve. To lie to Eve's children, which is the one they said, there'll be two seeds, the woman's seed, which is Eve, and the serpent's seed, which is Leviathan. And believe means to lie to Eve's children. Faith means believing in the God Amen. Amana. Faith, Mu'minun, Mu'minati, ancient God. And that Amen, like I said, is all, we're Amen. We're Amun-Ra. We're the son of it. And Islam just taught you the first stages. You follow?
Who worshipped us back then?
Who worshipped us?
Yeah, back then.
The Hindus worshipped us. You had Watusis, Pygmies, and the other people were called Synth. They called them Synth, right? They moved down to a place called Bali. And they still have temples in Bali now, in India. And that was called Eden. That was a different Eden than our Eden, right? Those people worshipped us and they made images of us. Krishna, Brahma, Shiva. When you say Brahma, you're saying Abraham. You follow that? When you say Krishna, you're saying Christ or Mashiach. That's all those names represented. We became their God. But then they became idol worshippers. They got the 204 angels left the land of Persia, which is called Nod, and moved into that land, and they started worshiping them because they were fire worshippers. They saw power in that. And then we lost the worship because we stopped knowing. And what is the thing we stopped knowing? We stopped knowing good from bad. And that's what it says in Genesis. Now the man has become one of us what? Knowing. Good. That's the only time we knew. What did we discover in Genesis? We discovered good from bad. We knew good angels from bad angels. Now we don't know good people from bad. We don't know good food from bad. We don't know good music from bad. We don't know anything, and we were the ones who knew everything. And so they put us under a spell. What kind of spell? The spell of ghost worship. You understand? Ghost worship. And they said gospel, ghost spell. They put us under some ritual. It sounds crazy, but it's called etymology. It's in the sounds, right? They put us under a spell and had us worshiping spirits. And if I didn't worship a spirit, God, what did they call me? They called me atheos. Atheos. If I don't worship a theory, I'm an atheos. And they say atheist. You see, or in Greek, the same thing, Dios, or in Spanish, Dios, or in French, Do. All of these names come out of the same thing, theories. We didn't worship theories because we were Eitherians. See, ether, atheist. We were Eitherians, and we were the gaseous people. If you look at the word gases and change that G, which is the ancient language from a G in Hebrew, we say Gemal. In Arabic, you say Jet. right? Take the word gas and put the jet there. And what do you get?
Gas.
Say it. Gases. Say gases.
Gas.
In our Hebrew is ga, gemad. In Arabic is ja. Put the ja where the G is at.
Gases.
Jesus.
Oh.
It's a spirit. See, a spirit belief. Because we didn't believe in spirits. We didn't believe in spooks. You know why we didn't believe in spooks? Because that's what they called us. Spooks. We were the spooks. We were the spiritual beings who incarnated on this planet. When they say God, they're playing a trick on your eyes, right? When a child reads backwards, what do they say they have? Dyslexia, right? That means they read backwards. What does the word lexia mean? Lexa means law. Look it up. The word lexia means law. Dyslexia means to go against the law. And they teaching you to write from left to right, and all the ancient scriptures you'd read from right to left. So now let's go and go against the law and read God from right to left instead of from left to right. What do we read? We read dog. What is the dog? The dog star. Anubis, the ancient jackal of ancient Egypt, the god of the dead. Who's the dead? The Caucasus people. You follow that? The books that they're teaching you is called the Book of the Dead. They tell you it's the New Testament. Yeah, they make a New Testament. What is the New Testament? The Book of John. What is Matthew, Mark, and Luke? Nothing. Who's Mark? Mark is Mark Anthony. And if you look at the books of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and put John where it belongs first, and not last, you'll see that each one of them says in the beginning. The one says in the beginning this happened, the other one says in the beginning that happened. Who's Mark? Mark Anthony. He's the father of Jesus or Zeus. Who did he marry? Cleopatra. Listen now, this is called right knowledge, right? He married Cleopatra, and because he was of the people who had no color in their skin, they were transparent. They were not sun people, they were moon people of the moon cycle. We were sun people, solar plex people. You follow that? We can stand under the sun all day. They can't do it. If they do, the sun will attack them. So he was considered a ghost person. They called him ghost. Ghost is another, just a synonym for the word goat. And that goes back to Capricorn and Nimrod and Jesus and December and the tie-in of the devil worship and the star and the crescent. The star and the crescent that Muslims use as their symbol, a 5-pointed star and a crescent. That crescent, if you look it up, is the word Dina. That's the demon, the female, Dina. And that's what they call their religion, Deen al-Islam. And in the Quran, the last revelation that Allah gave to Muhammad, he said, it's not Deen al-Islam, it's Deen Allah. And they still, after that, call it Deen al-Islam. You follow that? Because their worship is of Dina and the crescent, the moon. So they changed it from the solar calendar to the lunar calendar. The solar is alive. The lunar is dead. So they call the Bible the ancient book of the dead and made people think that Akhenaten, who was a hermaphrodite, check his feet, right? That he was the one who wrote the book of the dead. The book of the dead means a book of people that are dead. Who in the New Testament's alive? Nobody. The only one they say is alive, they say is alive in the spirit.